We continue with our rolling coverage from the National Results Operations Centres. We've got our reporter standing by to give us the very latest. Ayanda Mhlongo is in KZN and Natasha Phiri is at the Results Centre floor. We actually start with Natasha following the IEC's briefing a short while ago. It was briefing on the progress relating to capturing of the results and fielding questions on a number of concerns. Natasha Phiri, SABC News Reporter, is on the floor as stated just to give us a summation of that briefing. Natasha, among the issues the IEC has addressed the issue with the leaderboard a bit earlier on in the morning, saying it didn't crash, but rather it didn't display the figures. Talk us through that briefing.
Definitely, Mfundo, you're quite right. We heard there the IEC CEO, Mr. Mamabolo, saying that the leaderboard did not crash, but instead it could not display results for more or less or so 2 hours. But wasn't the only center, the Rock wasn't the only center where the leaderboard couldn't display the results. We also had various rocks across the various provinces that couldn't display the results of the leaderboard. But of course, Mfundo, a number of political parties have actually raised their dissatisfaction over this issue. We saw a statement there by the EFF as well as the MK party, and the EFF basically just lamenting the fact that if this could happen, how could the IEC then ensure that they safeguard the integrity of the electoral process? But we do suspect that the IEC had actually raised the very issue with the EFF. I mean, I beg your pardon, we do suspect that the EFF has actually raised the issue with the IEC. And in terms of that, we also heard there Mr. Musoto by the IEC chair just basically telling members of the media that objections were raised with the commission. 36 objections were raised with the commission, of which 15 have now been dealt with. But so those are just basically some of the issues that actually came out. There was also another issue of the HSRC survey and conduct. Some of the findings found that the long queues were not as a result of a lot of people actually coming out to the voting stations, but it alludes to the fact of the IEC having glitches. So the IEC says that these are some of the issues that they need to take stock of and then reflect as a commission. But Mfundo, earlier on, just walking across the floor, we've seen a number of political parties holding their press briefings. We spoke to John Steenhuisen earlier on. I personally spoke to the Federal Council Chair, Ms. Helen Ziller, and she has indicated to me that the multi-party charter parties, or the parties there, will be discussing and having discussion tomorrow on the way forward. You would know that the DA is probably sitting right now at over 2.3 million votes cast, and of course they're actually leading the pack in the multi-party charter. So it could be quite interesting talks that they will be having tomorrow. We also spoke to the leader of Action SA, Mr. Herman Mashaba, and Action SA is currently sitting at over 113,000 votes. He did concede, however, that the party did not do as well as they expected to do, and quite surprisingly had actually alluded to the advent of the MK party, saying that no political party had actually saw this coming. But he says that he was happy that the goal, remember, one of the main tenets of the multi-party charter was to keep the ANC below 50% and keep the EFF government out of power. And he says that he is elated. Yes, he wouldn't take all the victory to himself to say that the ANC is below 50%, but has said that Mfundo, through the advent of MK party, this is what we are seeing right now. But he also does say that for a party like Action SA, for them to actually have seats in the National Assembly is a victory for them. So those are just some of the sentiments that not only coming out of the IEC, but of course various political parties that are here on the floor. Of course, we will be getting more reaction from our side.